Thanks, Murillo. Welcome to everyone once again. We have a good diverse folks of people here. So I'll just quickly go over Kaggle for anybody who does not know about it. It's just a very quick, brief introduction to it, so that next week when we have some folks who want to come and talk about interesting competitions that they would like to talk about, at least you know kind of how to navigate the website. So I'll just share my screen quickly here. Um, Come on.
Do you have permission to do it?
Let's see. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, excellent.
Okay. Apparently I have. All right. So go to like kaggle.com. I would just go that click. Just when you come in here, if you have an account, you'll probably land into your account. If you don't, just create an account. It's free. Just sign it up for up for it. Once you land onto this landing page, on the left hand side you see a bunch of options. I would usually start with the competition one because that's the most interesting one. Feel free to navigate other places as well. But if you hit on the competition, you will see a page where you have a host of competitions. There is just a lot of big list of competition, but they usually categorize it into featured ones, some that have good prizes, popular ones, some for getting started, like newbies. You want to just kind of get their feet wet a little bit here. Some geared particularly towards research, some towards community, just for fun. Multiple categories here to go over. So you can click on them, and those ones will pop up. And they also show which ones are the active competitions that are going on. And just by brief look, you can see that this competition ARC prize, they have a total of almost $1 million in prize, right? And there is 2 months to go for the competition to end, right? So you can probably still participate into it, and possibly win a huge amount of prize there, and so on and so forth. And then some of them you would see just have swags, as a learning experience, with some small incentive. Some are catered only for knowledge, so just getting started type of knowledge ones. This Titan machine learning is one of the kind of a hello world type of competition on Kaggle. So a lot of people usually start from here. Yeah, so you can just browse through it. I'll go over one of the competitions that I had kind of walked through when I first joined the club, which was the natural language processing with disaster tweets. So this was the one that I presented. I found it very interesting when I first looked at different competitions. So when you land onto a competition page, you would see a quick overview of the competition. You can read through it. Uh, I'm not going to go through all of this, but it will give you a bunch of information about the competition, how they would evaluate your submissions, because obviously it's a competition. You have to submit your solutions, your models. They will have a metric, then they will clearly mention what metric they're going to use to evaluate yours versus other competitors. The file format that they expect for the submission, and some general FAQs. If you are new to the platform, this would be a good place to kind of look to how you can form a team, what is a private leaderboard, what is public leaderboard, how to create notebook kind of stuff, right? So everything would be here. That's basically would give you an overview. On the right hand side area, it will tell you the host of the competition, the prizes if there is any. In this one is just for knowledge, so there is no word here, and statistically how many people have participated, how many teams, how many participants, submissions, and some kind of statistical information here. And under tags, it will tell you what category it falls into. Is it like computer vision, or is it NLP? In this case, is NLP, or is it time series forecasting? Those kind of stuff it will let you know over here, so you can kind of gauge from there whether it's something that interests you. And then you go to the data tab down here, and here is where you can look at the data. They will tell you all the columns, a brief description of the columns, what kind of files are available for you to download and work offline if you choose to. Uh, Sometimes I would want to actually go here and see the file. Usually there will be a train file and a test file for sure. Sample submission is also going to be there, but I would usually start with the train file, train the CSV, and here you can kind of see how your data looks. and since you are starting off, I mean, since I started off, when I started, I wanted to have some data set which is smaller, right? Only a handful of columns. I don't want to deal with hundreds of columns because I'm still trying to learn. So I'll look at the data like this. I go to usually the compact column. That is, they just mention the column without any other stuff. And as you can see, in at least in this competition, there are 5 columns. ID is just identification number for a particular training item, right? And then there are some keywords. Most of them are assumed to be blank. Location. The most important is the text in this case because it's a tweet, so there is going to be text. And this since this natural language processing with disaster tweet, the whole objective for this one is given a tweet, you want to find out, you want to write a model or write an algorithm to find out whether this is a real disaster or is it a fake one, right? I mean, this Twitter has a lot of noise, as we know. The real stuff sometimes gets buried under the noise. So this model is supposed to kind of differentiate between the two. So there is a binary kind of classification, right? Is it real or is it not real? True or false type of thing, right? 1 or 0. So in the training data set, they would give you a text and then they will tell you, obviously, hey, this was a real disaster. And there are, if you kind of scroll down, some of them will be, hey, what's up, man? Obviously, there's no disaster here, so it's going to be 0. And some of them, these ones will be very easy to find out, but some of them are really not very easy to find out. Like we always bring heavy could be something heavy fire, heavy rainfall in a real disaster, but otherwise it would be no, right? So just look at this column. It will kind of give you an idea of how the data is going to look like. So this falls under the train data set, and then there is a test data set. This is the data set that you will be actually running your model against and predicting the target value, right? 1 or a 0. So obviously there's not going to be target here. You just get the real tweet, and then your model should tell whether it is a 1 or a 0. And the way you would make a submission is you have your IDs, each one of these, right? And then they give you a sample submission over here. You put that ID, and then you give your output of your model, whether it's a real tweet or it's not real disaster or not a real disaster, right? So it's a very important tab for data to understand how your data looks like and what is your format of your submission. Code. This place is where a lot of people have tried this. Obviously, people start off here, so a lot of people try this. So there is a bunch of codes that people have already written. Now this has a lot of flavor to it. There will be some of the best notebooks will be here, and some of them are just complete garbage. So it could be any flavor in between. So usually you want to kind of see how many people have upvoted, and maybe that is a good place to start to see, hey, this guy knows what he's doing, and there's something good to learn from that person. And there will be most likely some EDA, like exploratory data analysis, modeling, and stuff like that. Don't go too deep into it. Just kind of briefly see what is the flow of the notebook, what the guy is thinking about, and how he's approaching the problem. And so that would be under code. And I don't usually look at models, but I think you can submit some models here as well. So I think those models come in here. I think this is something new that has started not very, very recently, but it's still fairly new from when I started using Kaggle. But you can submit your models. Once you have a model, you can kind of submit it over here for other people to use it if you choose to. Under discussion, you can have chat with other team members. So you can kind of have a discussion. Hey, this is how I'm approaching. Some people may be very good to give ideas about how you can approach the problem. So this is a good place to kind of have discussion. I don't understand this. Can somebody explain it to me? Type of stuff. Leaderboard this is where once you make a submission, you will show up on the leaderboard and you can see where you stand against others. Since this competition has been going on for a long time, so obviously this leaderboard is going to be huge. But yeah, this is the place where you see you're standing amongst all the other submissions. Rules of the competition, just basic rules, say no cheating, and stuff for the some basic stuff that you should know about. The deadline of the competition, how you can form teams, how big the team can be, and stuff like that would be made sure that you read the rules of the competition. You can form teams, so you can ask the people, hey, I'm forming team. Would somebody like to join me? Right. So this is the place where you can ask for forming a team, and under submission, this is where you will see your submission that you have made. And any information that Kaggle brings back to you, whether the submission was successful or there was an error in submission, you did not follow the format, is going to error out. stuff like that, right? So this is where you will see uh, all of those stuff, right? So yeah, so this is just a quick overview. I mean, if you go back to competition, you can pick up any other ones and just look at the other formats that are possible over there, or you can search for competition by tags, computer vision, deep learning or whatnot, right? And you can see what competitions are under that category. But yeah, so that's how you look at a competition and see, hey, does this interest me or no? And if you're just looking for data sets, then you can go to the tabs, and here there's just data sets. You can download them for your own personal work, or just for fun, whatever. You can do stuff in the data set section as well. But yeah, for most part, we will be spending time under competitions tab, and this is where we will be spending most of the time when you look at a competition.